Hello, everyone. Deisi Del Toro here with No Filter Show once again. Now we're doing one in English. I'm so excited and happy to do an episode in English because the last two have been in Spanish. And I want people to know that No Filter Show is going to have people from all over the world and it's going to have different languages. Not too many because I only speak two fluently, but you can speak a little bit of your language. Today, I want to introduce to you a wonderful professional dancer. I am so impressed with her career. We're going to discuss a lot of these things with her. This is Astha Dixit. Did I say it right?
Dixit.
Dixit. See, I knew I was going to mess it up.
That's
But
okay.
it's because it's difficult for me because it's a very different last name.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
the very first question I want to ask you is tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, and what you do.
So I am Astha Dixit, and actually I am from a country far, far away, very far away. It has only over 1 billion people, and it's one of the countries where we have the most beautiful dancing and culture from that hails from this entire region. It's India. So I am a Indian dancer, classical dancer, and a professional dancer. I took up this as my career many years ago. So yeah, that's the the continent where I'm from, and I studied this dance form for many many years. I studied it, and it's called Kathak. Kathak is actually, it comes from the root word katha. Katha means storytelling. So it's actually, this dance form is like telling a story. It's like a storytelling dance form, and it's actually reminiscent of. I don't know if you have you been to India?
I've never been to
Okay.
India. I want to go to India. The
Yeah.
only India I have been to is from, well, I don't even think it's India, in Epcot. Is it Pakistan in Epcot?
Oh, in
Have you in
Epcot. Okay, yes.
Disney World,
In
of course.
Epcot, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, no, I've never
Of course,
I've
yes,
never been.
Disney.
But I love the
Yeah,
Indian culture.
yeah,
I don't know if you know this, but of course I have a few
yes,
business partners.
yes,
I did the first movie with an
yes,
Indian director.
yes,
So I'm very familiar with some of the culture, but what
yeah,
I found out is that
yeah,
each region of India
yeah.
has completely different traditions, right?
Absolutely. Every region.
So with
But
you, go ahead.
yes, but before we get to that, it's when you go to India, I will tell you where to go. There's these temples, and that's actually what brings me to this point is that's where the dance that I did originated, from the temples. And they are housing these beautiful sculptures, like these figurines, and very sculpturesque, and they're standing in these beautiful poses and like wearing very sultry clothes. They're actually very exotic as well. And there's a place called Khajuraho, and also there's a Konark, and there's various temples throughout India. So these sculpturines and this beautiful form of the sculptures in these temples is where the dance form took from that tradition. And we emanate these beautiful like goddesses when we
I know
dance.
you emanate
So
this, emanate, because I myself have seen you dancing. I have
wow.
seen you at a couple different events dancing, and I have also seen, and I know we're gonna play some of this on the actual YouTube video.
Yeah.
I have seen some of your professional dancing that you used to manage, or did you produce the entire show?
Both.
Okay,
Yes, both,
so
very
you
much.
so not only are you a professional dancer, but you also produced your
Produced.
own
Yes.
show. And I
Yes.
want people to see this
Yes.
because it's so astonishing. Like, I love dancing. I've
Yes.
never been a professional dancer, but I love dancing. So when I
Yeah.
watched your
Yeah.
performances, it's like a dream for me. And I guess that's where I'll lead into the question.
Yeah.
Was it always your dream to be a professional dancer?
Yes. And let me tell you, when I was 3 years old, I was dancing.
3 years
Yeah,
old?
my parents have a joke in our house that I was dancing before I learned to walk. I was I was watching those movies like go by like on the TV at home, and I was dancing in front of the screen.
That's
And
so
I
cool.
mean, just picture it. I don't know if you can. Like it's still, I can still remember. I think maybe I've heard the story. My parents say it so many times that I can see me as a little girl, like choreographing little movements and like, standing in front of the TV and like, doing little movements with the, with the movies and Bollywood is such a huge influence in our lives, because, these the costumes and these beautiful dances are done in a very magnificent way in the movies. So we saw them growing up, as children.
I was
Yeah.
gonna talk about that just a
Yeah.
tiny bit also, because Bollywood has the most wonderful sets of dancing. Like it's almost as actually in
Yeah.
the first movie that I produced, we make
Yeah.
fun of that because you guys will go from like a serious
Mhm.
love series of people kissing. Oh no, nobody kisses. Never mind.
Nobody
Nobody kisses in Indian
They
movies.
hide it.
Never mind.
They hide
They
it.
just they go behind
They
sheets
go
and
behind
you
the tree or the
you
bush.
never see anybody
Yeah.
kissing. So you think they're gonna kiss and you spend 3 hours watching this
Waiting
movie and
for
you're like,
it.
they're about to
They're
kiss.
about to kiss.
Nobody kisses, nobody does
No.
any sexual stuff in the
No.
movie. But then there's dancing.
And then they start dancing.
And then everybody's
And they come
dancing.
out of the trees on both sides.
And everybody's dancing with amazing outfits.
Yes.
The outfit that you have on, is this from your region or is just part of one of your collections? Because I know you have a
Yes,
collection.
no, definitely. No, it is. It is from my region. It's something. It's from a boutique. A boutique actually in Los Angeles.
Oh, nice.
That makes these beautiful garments, Indian garments. Yeah, so it's from there. But I do collect. When I was in India, I used to collect like these. Like, so my dance form, you're going to be seeing clips as throughout this interview, has the flare costume. The flare is like 36 pleats going around, so it opens when we spin. That's the whole beauty. Like, the costumes and the makeup, the jewelry is very much a part of the dance.
Correct, because
Yes.
wardrobe for the dance typically is created for that one performance,
for that dance style, that performance.
Because
exactly.
I remember
Every
discussing
performance
with
is different.
you
Yeah.
that you created everything from the
Mhm.
outfits to the
Yes.
music,
Everything.
and everything was original.
Everything is original. Everything.
So let's talk about your
Yeah.
career, because
Yeah.
I want to spend a little
Yeah.
bit more on your career.
Yeah.
So
And I wanted to mention this
Go ahead.
just because you said the movies. Like, I can remember me doing that as well.
Oh, that's right. You're an actress as well.
Yes, I did do films in Bollywood, Tollywood, South India, and also in Bombay, Mumbai, where the Bollywood film industry is. And if you see these beautiful scenes of me hiding in the bushes, waiting for my lover, so all of it brings back memories of shooting those songs,
I
late
think
at
you showed
and the
me
sets of the movies.
one time you showed me a clip, and it
Yeah.
was like the guy was pursuing you
Yeah.
in this very big dance scene,
Yeah.
and he's like pursuing you, and it's like,
The studios,
are they ever gonna touch each other?
No.
Is it just against the law to put this in a movie?
No, he just took a feather and went like this on me. that was as far as it went.
That was all the
That was
sensual
the-
content in the whole movie.
That's as far as the affair went.
But we know it went further than that if it was really happening, right? Because even though in India they're so proper in the movies,
Yeah.
we both know that in Indian culture,
Yeah.
they created Kama Sutra, man.
Exactly.
So are you
Exactly.
kidding me? This is not a secret that in India,
Yes,
even though they're so proper and perfect, they invented what we practice.
Yeah.
It's
That's why there's so much beauty also behind it. Like, there is a legacy behind it, and we will talk about that. There's a tradition behind that beauty, like what I was talking about, the erotic sculptures.
Oh yeah.
To the screen, to the cinema. Like, it goes from there to there, and that's why there is. So in a way, it's actually, it's very beautiful, because one doesn't necessarily need to like take off all their clothes and and then necessarily.
What do you
that
mean?
No. I'm
kidding. It's a joke.
No, absolutely not. No, nothing for you. But it's the way the way they show it, the art form. That is like. I mean, if you watch it, don't you feel so?
I have watched several Indian movies.
Yeah.
Especially when I was doing research, because I wanted to understand, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to understand behind, or the reasoning behind people being so proper, because in Mexico, that's where I'm from. In Mexico it's different. In Mexico is sensuality and being sexual or sexy.
Yes.
In on television or in movies is very much normal. Like even the weather girls are like even more
Yes,
open than I am.
right. Totally.
So I thought to
Yes.
myself, how did they make a billion babies
Yeah.
if they're so proper?
Yeah. No, so the best way I'm going to try to explain it, okay?
Okay,
Because
let me
I think
see.
this
Let
is
me
a
see.
great
I want to
a
know.
great topic. Uh, so some cultures are more outward about it, like they'll show everything. In India, don't get me wrong, I mean, there's as much of everything happening as any other country, naturally. But it's like, because the tradition and the art form is about internalizing. So like
Oh.
it's actually was, I'll just skip to my training now. The dance form, we internalize everything. Like we feel everything. We feel it so much. It's like we drink it and then we just take it out through just a subtle, like, I don't know if you read some of these. Yeah, like these there's actually stories about, these apsaras and stuff. I mean, just a little flick of their hand, or a little
Ah,
expression of their eyes is enough to say it all.
I watched
You know?
I don't remember the name of the actress
Mhm.
and singer, but
Yeah.
I watched a music video where the girl goes around the room
Mhm.
flirting,
Uh-huh.
but nothing like the
Yeah.
new, not the new generation type.
Yeah.
Her flirting was exactly what you said. She
Yeah.
was
Just
literally,
with the
she would
eyes.
just go with that, and she would
Yeah.
just
With the
little.
intention
That's right.
of drawing in the
And
audiences
all the men
around.
fell
And
for it.
yes.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, she had probably and that's what I mean about the
Yeah.
choreography.
Yeah.
She had about 1,000 men
Yeah.
dancing the same dance just because she flicked her eye at them. She just
Absolutely.
went like,
Yeah.
and boom, all of them, a
Right.
thousand men. I was like, how do they have so much power? I'm
Yeah.
over here, like
Working.
I'm
Yeah.
working, I'm working it. I'm like, hey, nobody cares.
Yeah. So this is the cultures, and that's why, I mean, all cultures have their way of expressing, so
That's
this
right.
is why this is such a unique culture and why everyone loves Bollywood and all these dance forms so much, and
I
I
do
mean,
love it.
yeah,
Honestly, I'm a huge fan of
yeah,
almost everything Bollywood. I think it's extremely important for
yeah,
people to understand
yeah,
that Bollywood was before Hollywood, and that a lot
yeah.
of central ideas of Hollywood came
From
from
there, it's the
Bollywood.
scripts and
And
all.
people think it's backward,
Yeah,
but it's not.
yeah,
And now that I put time into studying
yeah,
this, I found myself fascinated because I'm like,
yeah.
that totally makes sense.
It does.
It totally makes sense.
Yeah,
India used to be the most powerful nation for
absolutely,
how long?
absolutely.
Spices,
Oh my gosh,
clothing,
dated back to
art.
pre-Christ. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so
And the dance forms are evocative, like they are, but it's all internalized, and it's everything, even you see like outfits, right? We
oh, I
won't be
love them.
showing much, but it's just the grace and elegance of everything, right? So, and that itself, that comes into the dance, that comes into the the costumes and the music and everything, so it's like it's those centuries and centuries, it's actually thousands of years of
That's right.
tradition that goes
That's right.
behind it, yeah,
That's
so
what I was amazed about.
yeah,
So when I saw your performance the very last time,
yeah.
you were swirling and all they were playing was a single instrument. What is it called? This little guitar looking thing?
Sarangi.
Sarangi?
Yes.
Okay, so they're just playing this sarangi.
And that's probably such a foreign word to you, right?
Completely.
Sarangi, yeah.
Completely. And then
Yeah.
one instrument, and you're up there just, there were what, like 700 people there, maybe more?
Yeah, 700, 800, yeah, usually,
And
yeah.
we're all just memorized, and there's
Yeah.
one small instrument being played, and you just dancing in the
Yeah.
middle of the stage.
Yeah.
And I thought it was wonderful. I haven't seen you since because, as it turns out, is it okay to talk about your personal life a
Oh,
little bit?
yes, yes.
You,
It's to be
is,
celebrated.
that's
I'm a
right.
new mom. I mean,
You're a
let me
new
just say it.
mom.
Yes.
She got married. She's a new mom. You have a boy or a girl?
Girl.
I haven't even met the
You have
baby.
not met
I
yet.
have not met your
My
baby
precious,
girl.
my precious.
Are you happy?
The feelings are so new, and the emotions are, wow, it is overwhelming. It is, I mean, now it's I can say that I'm really living this another life, another part of another segment of life, and I am just focused on making this she is the most beautiful girl.
Really?
I'm sure,
Aw.
she's the most beautiful girl, and she just captures everyone, and it just
Now I
she's
want to see.
got
I
me.
want
She's
to
got
see
me.
her.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I
yeah.
almost
I
thought you
have
were
to
gonna bring her
send
today. I
you
thought, oh,
pictures.
she might bring her.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but I'm gonna
No.
see you soon, and then
Yes.
we will actually get to meet the baby.
Oh, you will meet her.
I've been
You
extremely busy.
will
Oh
meet
yeah,
her.
and I'm
And she
happy
will
for you.
inspire you. She has a special energy. I
Does
mean,
she?
I mean,
Oh,
she will inspire you.
I
She
love
has
that.
she's just so beautiful. I think but yeah, I think I can imagine how this, just since we're talking about, my baby, like how this is so overwhelming, for so many moms. We can talk about that as well. But I think I'm enjoying it because I spent so many decades, or such a large segment of my
On
life,
your career.
following my dreams,
And
and
I
my
think
passions, and making that
when you mentioned
happen.
that, I want to go a little bit further into that because I did the exact opposite,
Yeah,
right? I actually
yeah.
became, but
A
in
mom.
Mexican culture,
Yeah.
it's very well known that people get married very, very young.
Yes.
So I did the
Same
same
in our
thing. Oh,
culture as
in your
also.
culture also,
Oh,
okay.
very
Well, there
young.
you go.
It can be, yes.
So I got married very young, and
Yeah.
I started having children right away. So
Yeah.
I had the exact opposite of you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually started my career, or continued,
Yeah.
because I had already started, but I continued my
Absolutely.
career just more recently, like 12 years ago, where
Yeah.
you focused your entire life
Yes.
and everything into your career, and
Into
it
my
shows,
career.
because that's
Yeah.
why your productions were so impressive. And I really want people to see this,
Yeah.
and find you on YouTube and everything else, because you have been at the top level tier of entertainment in India.
Yeah.
And that is so impressive. By the way, I'm extremely impressed. I love it. And I know you wrote
Thank
a
you.
book, which I
Thank you.
want to read
Yes.
this book.
Yes.
But for women out there who choose career first, or people like me who do the career after, I think it's important as a woman to understand that you never give up on those dreams.
Never.
Right? Because even though now you're a
Never.
mother, are you giving up on your dreams now?
Oh no, they are. I've got a long list. We can talk about that too.
That's right. And I mean,
Yes.
I feel like we're gonna end up collaborating on a couple of things,
Yes.
which we're gonna discuss outside of
Yes.
this. But
Yes. Yes. Yes.
there are
For
plenty of
me,
things.
for me, acting is now on the
Things.
forefront. Like I did the dancing thing. I mean, I don't want to say thing because I'm a student. I'm always going to be going deeper into my art form, and also teaching others wherever I get the opportunity, and going farther into that journey. But acting for me is on the forefront, and I've been doing professional acting courses, training in the last few years as I'm becoming a mom, to prepare for what's ahead. And I
I
did some
actually.
films. I did some independent,
That's
like
what I was
some
gonna
shorts.
say.
I was in two different. I did short films last year, and they were in the California Women's Film Festival. One of the films was just recently premiered in that, and also there's another film festival it's also getting premiered, showing in that. So they're doing their
I
circuit
was gonna
now.
say, last time
Yeah,
I contacted
yeah,
you, you said, Daisy, I'm actually filming in California.
yeah,
So you traveled all the way to California
yeah.
in order to create this project.
Yes,
And
yes,
a lot of the things that I do is creating projects here. That's
yes,
mostly
absolutely.
what I've been working
Well,
on.
these projects I auditioned for.
Okay.
These were not my projects. The
Okay.
films were, I actually auditioned from here via Zoom, and then they
Mhm.
flew me, or I went there, and then I had a baby.
And then you
No, I'm
had a
just kidding.
baby. So
Yeah,
you've
no,
been a
I
little
did.
bit busy.
Yeah. So I did the shooting, and then we ended up staying back in California because I grew up in California. I'm from Los Angeles, actually, and from India, but Los Angeles, growing up in Los Angeles. And then I went back to India to pursue my dance and the acting and all that, the arts. Yeah.
Which, to be honest, I think that is the most difficult to
Yeah.
do, I would say, right? Because almost everyone complains about how difficult it is to make it in Bollywood,
Yeah.
or to do anything in a professional, successful way without having the right connections. Did you have the right connections? Is that, or did you just have to work and be that top notch to be able to make it?
I worked hard,
Okay.
my ass off. And you have to, yes, it's easier if you have
She said she
connections.
worked her ass off.
Yeah.
It's just, this is no filter. You can say it.
Yes, this is no filter, so that I can say it. I worked my ass off. Yes, and you know that
I
that
do.
feeling. So you know, it's easier when you have connections, and I think we've spoken about this also. But no, I had no into the industry or even into the dance world, and I just worked hard. I just trained with the best, and I believe in training. I believe in learning from the right people, and I feel like that really gives you the wings and the confidence
And see,
and the
that's the
confidence.
thing I
Yeah.
want people to understand. And
Mm.
I try my very best to get that point across, because I've worked with so many different talented people who
Yeah.
do have the talent.
Yeah.
But talent is not all it takes.
No.
You have to have discipline. You
Yeah.
have to keep working. You have to never give up. You have to continue expanding yourself,
Expanding. I
right?
love that. And I love before that what you said, the discipline. I
Discipline,
love that. Discipline, yeah,
100%.
sometimes that is a 100%
And
required.
isn't it okay?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you had your own team of dancers
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
performers.
Yes.
You already know that without that
Yeah.
discipline portion and them working hard, what happens?
Oh my gosh, we could not perform. Our shows would fall apart. We would, I mean, we were rehearsing. I had the dancers living with me, and I know you
What?
can relate to this because
Me too.
you've
Like,
got this wonderful studio, and you're like, I'm sure you're like accommodating artists from everywhere, probably even housing. I don't know, but I had my artists would fly in from out of town, like even months before our productions, and live with me. I had a space that could actually accommodate like a few, extra artists, and it was like a residency, and we would just rehearse, wake up in the morning and just get it's the music. We have this music box called tanpura, just get that playing, and then we put our bells on our feet, and we would start like stomping our, it's the percussive bells. And
that's right, because
uh-huh,
you dance
yeah,
this dance with no shoes on.
no oh yeah, it's no shoes, yeah.
Is that because you need the earth?
Yes,
Yes. Okay,
we
so it's
connect.
grounding,
Yes,
connecting.
yes,
Okay, grounding.
we connect with Mother Earth. And also we consider it actually sacrilegious to wear shoes even in front of the deities and in the temples. Like we remove the shoes outside and we go in, so yeah.
Ah,
So yeah, the dance form definitely is related to the, the temple tradition, and it's, it is also has the really, the gods and goddesses, we're emanating them. So yeah, we don't wear shoes, but we also, on the bare feet, we wear these very thick layer of bells around our ankles, and they make this beautiful sound. And we have a microphone. It's all tapped. The stage is tapped on the floor as well,
that makes
on the
sense.
floor as well. So it picks
Ah.
up the sound of the bells, and that actually is in synchronicity with the music that is obviously playing on the track or live. So I have performed many times with live musicians. So not only did I travel with my dancers to multiple countries, I went to. I also took my musicians at times with me, and I went to the Middle East. I performed at Opera House, the Royal Opera House, Oman,
It
and
was that one of the ones you
Muscat.
showed me?
I must have showed you also at the Baalbek Festival in
I think
Lebanon.
that's
Yeah,
Lebanon. I
and
think
the
you showed
ancient
me.
temples, they're like one of the, I think, the oldest Roman temples in the world, and the ruins of the temples. They had the concert out there, and the festival was held for 8 days there. And we had performed at the Forum de Beirut in Lebanon. We performed, a lot in the Middle East, all over Oman, Muscat, and Kuwait, Bahrain,
Kuwait also.
Kuwait. Yeah, of
Ah.
course, the National Center for Performing Arts in Kuwait.
I've
It's
always wanted to
also
go to Kuwait. That's like
yeah,
one. Well, besides, I want to go to
yeah.
India also, but Kuwait has always interested me.
Yeah,
Is that
that's also an
similar
opera
or
house
no?
there. There's also an opera house there. It's yeah, they're all, they all have the opera houses, which they invite, your team into the, to do the musical. So we would go with my entire team for 5 days, 6 days, and we would perform sold out shows, of course,
Of course,
with
yeah, yeah, yeah.
people rolling in these. I mean, I don't even think it's a Rolls Royce. It's not even like the,
You're like over there. There's it's more like Bugattis.
Bugatti. Yeah,
I
yeah.
because that's another thing that I want to touch on about
Is yeah.
the Indian culture, or just different countries there where people are so wealthy.
Hmm. Yes.
The amount of wealth that, like, there's zero
Yeah.
fear
Yeah.
of being
Yeah.
too rich.
Oh yeah.
It's like there's no too rich.
No, no. And specifically in the Middle East as
Right?
well. I saw like the sheikhs coming in to see our shows, and rolling in these cars and
And
everything.
they bring
And
blocks of gold with them. Is that
yeah, I
right?
think more like diamonds or yeah. I mean, I saw a lot of things,
I've seen
but
it. Oh
yeah.
God. Yes.
And then we also did the Beijing Opera House, and that was fantastic. It's a beautiful, beautiful newly built opera house. Then I did various countries in Europe and US and all over the world. So this was like, to mention, I mean, a profession, which is a very, I paid my dancers, I took care of the accommodation, I took care of their travel, their visas, their, the whole team. I compensated them well as, so we all, I compensated, everybody. This was our livelihood, and we, for years, for I would say nearly a decade or 15 years almost, we were just touring,
And that's
yeah.
right. So because in your profession of dance, how many years did you do?
Uh,
Well, because you have not
yeah,
stopped. So, but
yeah,
I'm talking
yeah,
when you were only focused on that.
yeah. I would say about 15
15. Okay.
years.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
in acting, how
Yes,
long?
about five.
5 years
Years.
of
But
concentrated?
it was throughout. Like it was, I did something previous to even my dance, where I starred in these Tollywood movies
Uh-huh.
as lead actress, and I did all these, like, really sultry scenes. Actually, just one
she,
song.
she said sultry, and I bet you it's something like, "Hey,
Yeah.
darling." She calls it sultry. I'm like, baby, I'm pretty sure your sultry thoughts are not, at my level. I'm over here
Okay,
hopping on girl.
we're gonna have to discuss that. I'm gonna have to show you,
Yes.
and then you tell me, and
No,
then you.
I don't trust you that this
Where
is
is it on the
sultry. That I
scale?
was
Where is it on
gonna
the
say.
scale of so yeah?
I don't think so, because if out of the entire country there's only one famous porn star out of 1 billion people, your sultry level is probably like, he actually touched my skin.
I actually came out of the bush.
So I'm like,
Just imagine that I actually came out of the bush, and we actually, like, met eyes. Our eyes made contact,
see,
and then it's cut.
see, that's exactly what I thought. I'm like,
Uh,
really?
no, absolutely, you're
Asta, I
right.
want to believe you, but Asta, I think we have different thoughts of what sultry is. I mean,
So again, it's the
have you ever,
dance form, the
have,
way we perform, the way that, we exude that grace, and they show it through that.
right.
They show the love angle through that.
No, it's
Yeah.
definitely
So
love,
yeah,
because
yeah.
the most recent Indian movie I watched, it was 3.5 hours long,
Mhm.
and it was about this prince and this queen from a
Mhm,
different
mhm.
area,
Yeah.
and he marries her obviously to unite the kingdom, but
Mhm.
they're not in love, it's
Yeah.
arranged,
Mhm.
and they're super handsome and beautiful.
Oh,
Like, I've never seen
absolutely
more beautiful
beautiful.
people in
Yeah,
my
yeah,
life. I'm
yeah,
like, where did they find these people?
yeah.
Anyway, the point is,
Eh.
they spend almost 2.5 hours to just look at each other in the eyes.
And how did you feel?
Okay, all right, you got a point. Okay,
See?
okay, so
Okay,
they
okay,
do get, because
okay.
I waited 2.5 hours to see them
To see
even look
them
at each
looking
other.
at each other.
We're here by then, people already have 10 kids,
Everything
five.
is everything taken off. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's what it is.
They were
It's an
married for
art
like a year
form.
and a half before they even did anything,
Yeah, yeah,
and they don't even show it.
yeah,
So, and he had to pursue her. She cooked a meal for the whole city just to prove to him that they're in love. And I was like, you fed an entire city before you had
To-
anything in the bedroom?
I can
I
just
can't even
imagine
feed the
it.
man I'm with.
Well, you've heard of Taj Mahal.
Oh
Like
yeah.
he built that
Oh yes, yes, yes,
magnificent
yes.
for the love of his life, his wife. I mean, that's how it goes.
That's
The
right.
magnificent monument, the most beautiful
That's
symbol of
right.
love, so that
That's
you can
right.
express love in any way, so many
So
ways.
what you're saying is, I've been getting love the wrong way.
No.
I've been looking at all of them up and down and in the wrong area. Like, I'm looking at the box instead of outside the box.
No, what I'm saying is that you are supporting wonderful artists like myself, and
That's right.
you recognize,
I
where
do.
art where it stands. So you are exuding love in
I
everything you do.
exude
I
love
mean,
in
I
a
have to
different way.
say,
I'm just
no, no,
not gonna claim
I
them.
have to say hats off to you. You are,
Thank you.
you have such a magnificent. I mean, your energy and your commitment and your dedication to, to showing the best, and showing up in the best. And I really, I've been seeing your talk shows, your work. So
Thank you. I
yes,
appreciate it.
so
Now I
you are,
want you
yeah,
to pull out this book. No, before we go into the book, because we already kind of completed a little bit of the
yeah.
dancing, and then I want you to show me the book and tell me what it's about. But first, I want you to show me a little bit of those moves that you have that have eluded or exuded or seduced so many men.
Oh
Okay,
my
let's see. We
gosh.
don't even have the music, but I still want to see how you do it.
So
Let
you're
me see.
putting me on the spot.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the
No, no,
spot.
I'm actually gonna take you back
Okay.
to the tradition itself. I was thinking about this actually on the way here, like what I would like to show if you did do this to me,
Okay.
which you are doing.
Oh,
So
you know me. I
yeah,
think you should
yeah,
know me
yeah.
by now. A little
So, but
bit,
I
but
actually, because just to as a demonstration, this is actually going to be a demonstration of Kathak, the art form that I learned from my gurus, and this is a traditional piece. So, with complete respect, I'm going to make an effort so that you can connect to that culture, and also feel, that the essence of it. So, it's a poetry, and it's talking about how these are all gods and goddesses we're talking about,
okay.
but they are just like humans. They're just like us. They sneak in through the forest to meet each other late at night. Imagine the gods and goddesses, and it's like it's a moonlit night, and they're like, and she's, her name is Radha. She's a goddess, one of our, in our tradition, and she's, lifting the going between the branches to meet her lover at night and do some sneaky things, there, and come back. So I'll just say a bit of it. Ujikat, jhijikat, झुकत कुछ हिल हिल, चंद्र चौप चपला चली अजपल, अटक अटक द्रग मटक मटक मुख मंद हसत, मन मोहन मन महादो, मन मोहन मन महादो, मन मोहन मन महादो. Mohan is her lover, Lord Krishna. So I'm just going to do it a little bit so you can. So Ujikat, showing like the way that she's going. Ujikat, jhijikat, jhukat kuch, hill hill, like the trees are swaying. Chandra chop, this is the moon, that's a moonlit night. Chandra chop, chapila chali, ajapal, like she's looking, looking for her lover. Atak, atak, drag, matak, matak. Mukh mand hasat. She smiles like, like she's in adoration. And then she sees her lover. Man mohan, man mahado. He's standing there looking looking her up and down, right? Man mohan, man mahado. Man mohan, man mahado. Their eyes meet. And then he actually, man mohan, man mahado. This is Lord Krishna because he holds this flute. He plays the flute. So if you see in the temples, he's playing the flute. So Man Mohan, Man Mahado. So this is just a little poetry taught to me by my guru from one of the traditions of the dance form, Kathak. And it stays with me because it's just so beautiful. It shows you like, the intricacies and how deep the art form is and how
And
much
so
you can.
this female that you, because I do know a little bit about Krishna's history.
Yeah.
Didn't he have 10,000 lovers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
16.
16,000 lovers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
It's in the scriptures.
it's in the
Some
scripture.
of
This
them.
is, and
Don't
he's a
quote me on this.
god. Okay. I've studied quite a bit
Yeah,
on
yeah.
this. Okay, so
16,000.
you see, so
They're
I thought it
called
was
gopis.
10,
They're
but it was
called gopis.
gopis.
They're all the
But
they're all the villagers. They're his
this
women.
poetry comes from his lover or
This
his wife.
poetry is actually his
Main
main
lover,
lover.
main
His
lover.
main lover.
Okay.
Yes, yes. And she's extolled as like the virtue of her name is Radha. The virtue of Radha is Krishna. Like they are not separate. Like she is him, he is her. They're like one.
Right.
And so there's a lot of these stories like of them, how they meet, how they, the music between them, how sweet that taste is of how their love was. It's divine love,
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So,
actually was extremely interested in that because, talking, I like to talk about religion in this a little bit.
yes,
We don't
yes.
have to go too deep into it, but like
Yeah.
I was taught Catholic.
Yes.
And in the Catholic realm, actually the priests are not allowed to have a wife or a girlfriend or any
Right,
sexual anything, right?
right.
So, but then you talk about Krishna, or there's several different gods. Even what is her
There
name? The
are
one with all the different hands.
yes. So yeah, Durga. So there are it's there's actually three. They're called the Holy Trinity. Like you said, we won't go too much into it. It's just like the Holy Trinity, but there's the creator of the universe, the maintainer of the universe, and then the destroyer of the universe. So the destroyer is Lord Shiva. Shiva, I don't know, the
Yes,
fierce,
Shiva.
yeah.
Yeah.
The maintainer is Lord Vishnu, and actually Krishna is an avatar of Lord Vishnu. and then the creator is Brahma. And I'm actually showing it in dance the way we show them, because he
dance part.
creates. So Lord Brahma is the one who created the universe. So this is the simple way of looking at the way the Trinity, the way it's shown in the Hindu culture, the religion. But then there's various gods for each and everything. Like there's a goddess of wealth, goddess Lakshmi,
And
goddess
that's one part I want you to talk a little bit more
yes,
about, because I
and
think it's
goddess of
amazing that there's gods for everything, including
yes,
gods of money and everything.
money,
Yeah.
wealth, prosperity, success, and goddess of learning and creativity and music and knowledge. That's goddess Saraswati. So she's also very important.
I always say I'm
Yeah.
Shiva, but
Shiva.
then once I did more studying, I was like, wait a minute, I don't know which one of them I would be, because I
Yeah,
love the
all of
arts,
them,
or
all
maybe
of
a
them.
little bit of all of
We
them,
all
maybe.
have them
Right?
in
We all
us,
have them in
yes,
us.
and
Yeah,
we
because
seek their blessings
that's right.
as we progress in life towards our goals. We
That's
seek
right.
their blessings.
That's right.
So and at certain times of the year, there's festivals. So like Diwali is a time where we actually ask the god and goddess of wealth to come into our homes and make our businesses prosper.
Is this when you guys light up all the
Mhm,
different? Okay,
yeah,
so I've been to one of
yeah.
these events.
So that's actually goddess Lakshmi and also Lord Ganesha. They are both symbolic of wealth and prosperity. You're actually inviting them to your home,
Which is what we all want to do, people.
We
in
all
in
want.
in some Hispanic countries, they think that it's a bad thing to be wealthy or to want to be wealthy, because they call it greedy. But in your country, it's actually a very positive thing, and wealth is invited
We
into your
embrace
home,
it. We
because the
embrace
more
it.
wealth you have, the more wealth you can share,
Yes.
and the more things you can accomplish, even in creative world.
They're like the facets of life. Wealth, all these are the facets of the pillars of life. Actually, even wealth, money, success, love, Kama Sutra, which
Oh,
can
I
also
love
love,
I love the love.
yeah, love, lust. I mean, it's actually, this is written in the scriptures. So I'm quoting the scriptures. These are all facets of life, and we must work towards all of them.
This is the part that I love about your
and
culture.
nirvana, moksha is one of the pillars. It's one of the pillars.
And
So
I
as we
think it's
progress in
wonderful. I
life,
think
yeah.
it's like I would invite anyone watching this to study further into different religions and what each one of them invites you to learn, or as you said, bring out, because
Yeah.
no matter what part of the world you are from, once you open yourself up to learning about different things, you realize that all that DNA is within you already.
Yep.
And then all you have to do is either meditate or connect. Some people call it prayer.
Yes.
Some people
Or
call it
meditate.
prayer
You
or
got it.
meditation,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
all about the connection
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the universe. And then once you have that,
Yeah.
then you can just invite these different, I call them powers. I don't, what do you call them?
No, you said it. I
Right?
couldn't say it any better. You resonate with that power, or you
And then
wire yourself in a certain way through your meditation to invite that energy or meet that energy and bring that more into your life.
it's kind of, I call it the magnet.
The magnet, yeah.
It's kind of like the more you allow this powerful energy to come out of you, the more you attract more of that same energy.
Yes.
And then you're able to grow further.
Yes.
It's a strange, but
Yes,
in my opinion, a wonderful thing. I think the reason I work with a lot of millionaires, billionaires, and multimillionaires is because that energy is able to power both ways.
Yes, yes.
Same with you with
transmit
artists,
that energy,
right?
And
Same.
who you are, you're a magnet for it, and who
That's
you
right.
are with, just brings more of that same thing to you. Yeah.
And I think with artists, that's what happens, because I was just watching Madonna. She did a free concert in Brazil, and she had 1 point something million people come out. And I'm like, how does she have that power to attract these many people to take their entire day off? And I mean, come on, in a million people, if she's on a stage, how are you even going to be close enough to see? But for them, just the idea or the feeling of being that close to her made them be there.
I'd like to know what Madonna has. But she meditates, she has embraced Hindu culture and religion as well.
That's right.
And her songs also exude this it's energy. It's so much. It's a divine spirit. I feel it in Madonna's.
But Madonna developed this over being a creative person.
Persons over so many years,
I mean,
so
so
many
many,
years.
and think about it. I mean, she was trashed and called the devil, and
Yeah,
they said that she's
yeah,
evil
yeah,
and everything else, only because in her music, she questioned
yeah.
religion
Religion,
to
yeah.
allow people to wake up and see that there's
Yes,
more to whatever they
yes,
knew, correct? Okay,
absolutely.
now I'm gonna let you bring your book
Yeah.
out because I could
Yes.
spend 10,000 years talking about this.
This is wonderful. This is wonderful, Daisy.
No, I really get
So
very deep
yeah,
into it, and
no,
then
no, no.
it
This
just
is
goes
this
too
is
far. I know, I
wonderful.
know.
So this is my book, and it's called Title Door to Heaven. So this is really a personal journey. It's memoirs, like a book of memoirs. Except this is really how a dancer finds her way to God.
Mm.
And this is it's talks about my personal struggles, and which I faced a lot of, and the challenges as well. But my journey from the US, being raised in Los Angeles from a very young age, from the age of 8 till I graduated from college, in a technical field,
Right,
and I left my technical degree to pursue my passion,
right.
and I went back to India. And there I did some movies. I did multiple stage shows. I started training with the gurus, because I wanted to go deeper into the art form. I started training with the masters, the gurus, we call them. The tradition there is that we say that gurus. And then I branched off and started dancing all over the world with my team. And my confidence for that came from the training that I received from my gurus. But then I also speak about very largely about my personal struggles and my journey. And I think that's very important to share, because being a woman in India, and being for the most part single, I was
That's right.
living alone most of the time. Yes, most of for a decade at
And
least.
actually,
Yeah.
for women in your culture, it's not typical to get to live alone,
No.
right? You either live
No.
with your parents or
No.
you get married and you live with
Oh
your husband,
yes. In my
correct?
culture, you're like, yeah, I mean, so you're like an outcast. I mean, I don't even know what the word for it is. You're like not a part of society if you are like that for too long. So I think I entered that for some years, and it was a struggle, but I kept fighting. So like you said, was there anyone who, gave me the break or showed me the way in? No. I mean, it was like I fought against all odds. And that's what this book is about, a girl who fought against and struggled against, society, even fought against all odds. I have a chapter in here dedicated to that, how I even lived with my grandmother. And and I created a dance studio in our old bungalow, our home,
Oh,
because it was, part of it was empty. I took it over and created a beautiful dance studio. I turned it into this center for arts. I mean, very much like the spaces that you create. I worked so hard on that space. I had music playing all the time, artists coming in and out, very, very like dancers who are, noteworthy, throughout the country. And, many long nights of singing there and everything. But I did this, living with her, my grandmother, and she was from a different time frame, and the tradition
oh,
wasn't that they accepted, a dance could be like a hobby, but it wasn't really,
as a
yeah, as a
profession.
profession. So like living with that and knowing that, so she had a different, way of thinking about it. She came from a different time, and she didn't understand, necessarily why I was taking this dancing so seriously. So but all of these, but many more struggles that I had, and but how I came out of it, how I even wrote this book to share this journey with others, how I published this book in 21, which is not so long ago.
And that's
And
right, because when
yeah.
I met you was before you published the book and before, actually, I think you were
Ah,
about to get married, or maybe you had just,
yes, before I got
right?
married.
Because
Yeah.
I thought to myself,
I
wait a
met my
minute,
husband. We were together
you were
here. We were
dating.
dating,
That's
and we were
right.
just about to get
Which
married, though.
I love
Very
your
close.
husband, by the way. He's so
Yes,
amazing.
yes,
And he
he is. He is.
completely supports,
Oh my gosh.
right?
He knows I'm here. He's like, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
I love.
he helped me decide what to wear and everything. I mean,
Oh,
he's
yeah,
he's
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 amazing.
wonderful. He's
I've met
wonderful.
him and I've
Yeah.
spent some time with him, and I love when a man supports a creative life for
Yes.
his spouse or the person they're with. I
So
think it's
important.
extremely
So
important,
important.
right?
It's so important.
Don't
I
you
mean,
feel better because you were single for a very
I
long
was
time,
single for
probably
a very
because of
long
that,
time. Yes, yes,
right?
yes,
And then now you're with someone who
yes.
truly supports you, and how
Yes,
does that
yes.
feel?
And also I, and also I wanted to go my own way also, because the dance required a lot of time for me. Had I had a family or a child earlier in life, I wouldn't have been able to do
It's
all that.
very difficult.
Even probably even
It's
devote as much time to my husband, even as
That's right.
now family requires time. So, now I'm doing it. But earlier I wanted to kind of take the time to understand, all of this, my art form. So all of that journey is
I
in this
wanna
book.
Let me see.
And
I love
by
it.
the way, do you have a copy of this book?
I do not yet. I
So
wish you would give me
are you
one.
holding your own copy? I think you're
Thank you.
holding your, yes.
Oh, look at that. How beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
I love that. And so here you discuss your career in acting, in
Yes. In cinema,
dancing,
in dancing.
cinema,
Yes.
and your travels.
The travels.
The travels.
Even when
I think that's the only thing I'm jealous about with you. I'm like,
yeah.
come on. So you were traveling
Oh,
with your
yes.
crew
Oh,
and your
yes.
that's one thing that
Yes.
I know if I had
Yes.
done or stuck through when I was younger, I
Yeah.
think that's one thing I would have absolutely
You would
done.
have. And it's never too late. And you
Well, I
are
know, but
doing,
for
yeah.
dancing, I mean, I don't even know if I
Yeah.
still got the hip work anymore.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. No, definitely it's easier when you're younger, and I'm glad I had those years, and that is all definitely a part of the journey. And you'll see the chapters also are very clearly, like, if you want to go into the cinema part of my life, or if you want to go into the dancing or the training, or the all those
oh, you
musicals
you
in the
did
Middle
you
East,
did
and
backpacking
the
in Europe?
backpacking, talking about travel.
Okay,
Yeah.
so when I went to Europe, I
Yes.
wanted to backpack,
Yes,
but I
yes.
I only did it one day and I couldn't make it through.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
so difficult.
It's amazing.
What do you mean amazing? It's very difficult.
After college, though, not now.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know when.
Okay.
This is towards the beginning of my book. So
Okay.
it is in it is, the timeline goes from, so this is after college. I spent, I think, about just over a month backpacking Europe,
That's
and that
incredible.
was one of the best experiences.
And for
And I
me,
had to put it in my book, because I couldn't.
because it
Yeah,
was an
yeah,
amazing
yeah,
experience for you.
yeah,
For me, it was difficult. I
yeah.
thought, what am I doing? I'm out here sleeping in this
In these
uncomfortable bed and
sharing
I got this
the
backpack and all I got is like a toothbrush and a couple of clothes. I'm wearing dirty clothes. I was like I didn't enjoy that very much. I was like, I feel like I'm back in Mexico but struggling on purpose. What am I
yeah, on
doing?
purpose. We should have met back then,
I
and you
know.
should have joined. We
I
should have
would
gone
have gone with
together.
I would have gone.
I had
You're right,
I
you're
had a
right.
backpack that was bigger than me,
Because you got a
because
bunch
I
of stuff.
still had to look
Oh, you're
decent.
like, I still want to look good.
I
So
still had to look
no,
good.
that was what I have. I'm like,
That would be
I was
you.
like, what
That
am
would be
I
you.
doing?
Yeah.
Like, I'm wearing this outfit for real. Like, what is going on? And now I
Like,
stink.
I had
Like,
I had I had it researched, like, how I was gonna do it, how I was gonna shuffle my outfits. I had to have only very few, like these 5 outfits. How I was still gonna manage to look good with them in the whole month. It was amazing, though. What an
really? I
experience!
mean,
Oh my
okay. So I
gosh.
told my daughter. So my
Yeah.
daughter is 19.
Oh, wow.
She just went to Europe and she wanted to do backpacking with her best friend.
Yes.
And I actually said, oh, you don't even know what you're getting into. So
Yeah.
what she did is she went to stay for a month, but they stayed in the family's house and then they visited family members.
Okay.
So it's nothing the same as backpacking.
Yeah. No, that's
But I
that's
told her to
fantastic.
prepare herself that way.
Yeah.
And then hopefully maybe next year she can do what you did. But you really enjoyed it for real?
Well, they have youth hostels. Yeah, at that age, it was the same age as her. They have hostels,
Okay.
and the hostels, like, at your daughter's age, she doesn't right now need her own suite. She's gonna be
No,
okay with a bunch of other people from all over the world traveling, backpacking. It's all about meeting people at that stage of your
that's
life,
right.
and you're kind of exploring yourself, and you're pushing your limits and boundaries a bit. And so yeah, the hostels are actually pretty clean and really nice, and they are all a great hangout place. And there's always a central, like, bar, or a pool room, or a place where everyone hangs out every evening, and then you meet friends and you go out together the next day to see the sights, to the museums, or to the so you can meet a lot of people along the way backpacking. It's a great way to meet people and also to experience a culture from a little bit closer.
I think
But not now. I wouldn't do it now.
right, right,
No,
right.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
if I go now, I'll be looking at these
No,
19-year-olds getting drunk
no,
or something, and I'll be like, hey, what are you
no,
doing?
no,
I'll
no.
be disciplining
Now we
them.
travel very different. My husband and I, we're like, we have to have a
No, no, now
kitchen.
you
We
need
have to have,
luxury.
like,
Now
we
you're
need
like,
all the,
no,
yeah,
no,
we have to have
no,
all the
no.
amenities,
That's
the
right.
kitchen,
Now
and included the kitchen.
I
Yeah,
know you now.
I like the, yeah.
Now you're like, wait, we're gonna
Yeah,
stay at
yeah,
a
yeah.
5-star
Oh
hotel,
yeah.
and we're gonna.
Oh, we like even a kitchen. Like, I have to cook my own food. Like,
Oh,
it's to
really?
that level.
What? You cook?
I love healthy homemade. I love
Okay.
very, like,
I'm
nice
I'm not a very good
diet.
cook
Yeah,
at all.
yeah.
And so I'm
Healthy. It's all
surprised.
about healthy and fresh, and sometimes you don't get that outside. I like to make certain things. Yeah.
But backpacking,
Yeah.
just to finalize on that topic, I'm not
Yeah.
trashing it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I just felt like, me personally, when I tried to do it, um, I thought I was struggling on purpose.
Yeah.
But what is in it for
Yeah.
you? Like, what did you get out of it? Just
What I did was I worked one summer. I was in IT, so I worked like my junior year after college, and I had I made something like $5,000 that summer. I just put that aside. I said, I'm not gonna ask my parents this money. I'm just gonna use this and see how far I can get into the backpacking with this. And it lasted me like just over a month, I think, and I managed to have a great time in that money. So that was just before I started working. You know,
nice.
so then after I came back, I told my parents I'm ready to work now. I start a job, and I worked that didn't go very far though. I worked for a few years before, but then I went back to my country. Yeah, after that.
And
Yeah,
then you
so
did
I
dancing
became a
and did
dancer,
one.
an
I
actress,
love
and
your
yeah,
career. I
yeah.
think it's wonderful.
Hmm.
I want you to sign this book for
Yeah,
me.
I would.
Thank you for coming out. I think it's
My
fantastic that
pleasure.
you came out.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I love this photo. Yeah, can we borrow a pen, because I want her to sign it for me.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you.
Wow, I love these photos. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see it very well, but look at
Yeah,
that.
show them.
Yeah, I love these. So are these all different photos that you have done throughout for your
Absolutely,
acting career?
absolutely.
Oh,
Dancing, acting.
oh, I
That's in the
love it.
movies. That's in a dance production where I was like a lead dancer in this and an actress as well. This is a dance production. So this is dancing,
I love
acting. There's a
that.
mixture actually. This is theater, this is dance, this is films.
Beautiful. And
It's
look at the
various,
jewelry.
yeah.
Do
Oh
you still
yeah.
have any of this jewelry?
I do.
Of course you do.
I think
Look
I
at
might
that.
have to get you some of these sets. Yeah.
Oh no, you actually,
I
even if it's
collect
just
them
borrowed, you have to let me borrow,
anytime,
because
anytime. I'm
I
telling
I
you.
love the
I collect
culture.
them, and now I have so many. I really, I mean, at this stage of my life, I'm just, I don't know what to do with them. Like, I mean, you can anytime you want,
No,
you
because
have
I
access to
actually
them.
love doing different types of photo shoots. I haven't done a photo shoot in a while, but I would love to do a photo shoot
Ah,
in one of your outfits, maybe with some really cool. Because last time I saw you,
the
I was supposed to
tika
be
and
dressed.
the yes and
I
all
was
that.
supposed to be
Yes,
dressed in like an Indian outfit, and
yeah.
I ran out of time. I showed up in a weird looking outfit. Remember that? I was like, oh, I was a
No.
little bit embarrassed, but
Weird looking, no, I don't remember that. I can't imagine you in a weird looking outfit.
it was weird.
You have very aesthetic, it's all aesthetics, and you understand aesthetics. So it's you'll love the Indian, of course, attire, and we'll do that sometime. We'll,
We'll
we'll
do
have to
it.
do
Yeah,
that.
we should
Yeah.
do that together,
Yeah.
and just go out, and maybe you can teach me a little bit of dancing.
Yeah.
I'm never
Find
gonna be
a
as subtle as you though with the whole like romantic stuff. I'm not very good
yeah.
at it. I'm more like, come here, bah. You see how I broke these 3 nails? Slapping people for charity. So I don't think I can really be like, hey, let me lure you in with this gentle.
I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine together. We'll have to see how we'll be fine. We'll be
I
fine.
feel like I'm much more like, I'll look at the guy and I'll be like, "Come here, let me spank you, man," and you will be like, "La, la, la." Oh no, you can't anymore because now you're married.
What? No.
Like you can't lure men in anymore. Like
Oh no, through my dancing, it's
it's just for.
the dancing itself is enough for me. Like that is all the attention I get is enough for me, which I have got enough of, and I feel I was recognized for my artwork. I received awards, and I was given accolades, and also these festivals we performed with but the government sponsored them, a lot of them. So we were a lot of recognition, a lot of respect when I got the respect I wanted. So yeah, so it's but
You had a TEDx talk. I
yes,
watched that.
yes.
I loved it.
Oh, fantastic.
So I know I do a lot of silly things, and especially with no filter, I want to ask some deeper questions and
Hmm.
things like that.
Hmm.
But in an honest level, I'm very honored that you're here, and I think it's wonderful that you have done so many amazing things. I think for Indian culture and Indian women, it's extremely inspiring, and really for all of us, including myself, because I've never written a book, but I can tell you, I know it takes a lot working on a movie. So a book is just like a movie, right?
Oh yeah, it is. Oh, it's a lot of work. I don't know which one is more work actually. That's a good question. This took me 4 or 5 years, and I mean I'll be honest, and I had an editor who went through the entire body of work that I wrote for, I mean, spent over a year with me, page by page, word by word. It was painful. It was like pulling like squeezing like the content and like and refining it, and then we went through multiple revisions of it. I mean, God bless her. I hope she hears this. I mean, she really gave it the full, she brought it to fruition, which would seem like an impossible task, because I had it all over my hard disk. I had so many volumes of stuff I had written, but we kind of, you know, took the juice, we narrowed it down, took the essence of it and bound it in this beautiful book, this
Oh, I love
cover.
it. I think it's
I mean, I love
wonderful.
this cover
Yes.
like myself. Every time I look at it, it's like, oh, pat on my back. It was designed by the people who published it, the company that published this book.
And where can people find this, and where can people find you?
It is online, and all the noteworthy, all the known places online. You can buy it. Also, you can read the Kindle version, but the paperback is the best. So it's available in all countries. I think something like 18 countries. And I checked the other day, like Canada, Australia, Mexico. Yeah, it's available all over
So
all
you
over
guys
the world.
can go shopping all
Yeah,
over the
all
world
over the world.
and read her wonderful book. It inspires anyone who is deciding whether to get married first, or maybe they want to follow career first. It seems like for both of us it's worked out anyway. I think it's up to the person
Yes.
to put the full effort into whichever decision they make.
Yes.
I am not very good at the marriage thing. I'm just gonna tell you now. I've tried a couple times, but it's not really in my nature. But the career thing is going really well. I think that's a lot more
No,
fun
you
for me.
rightfully said it. Like, whether marriage first, career first. I think this book will clear it up for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna read
Absolutely.
it, and I'm gonna let you know right
sign
away.
your copy right
Please do.
now.
Yeah,
This
please
is a,
do.
this is a
And write
this is
something
a
sweet. No, I'm kidding.
oh.
I'm kidding. I know you would.
Of course, but this is a really an honor for me. This is a wonderful moment for me to sign this.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and I appreciate your time and effort into coming out. I think that's how the universe works. Like sometimes you haven't seen a person in a while. Like I had not really spent that much time with you lately because we've both been extremely busy. I mean, making a baby, having a baby, feeding the baby.
Oh.
It's a lot of work. And for me personally, I've been extremely busy. But catching up with you has been wonderful, and I really appreciate you being here.
Likewise.
Thank you for being here. And if anyone wants to follow her on social media, and you can say what your social media is so they can follow you.
So it's simple. My name is Astha, so the name is actually spelled Astha, but my social media handles are usually yours truly, Astha. So yours with an S, truly, Astha, and Astha, my name. And then I have a website as well, yours truly, astha.com, on Instagram, on Facebook, and also as Astha Dixit. So I have multiple accounts, also as Astha Dixit. So I sometimes feature things that are more dance related, and I kind of keep that from different handles, and the other handles are more my book, my TEDx, my inspiring people to follow their passion. And talking about the TEDx, I delivered that speech as well in 2021. So both things happened in the same year. Must have been a great year for me. And I met my husband.
And you met your husband.
Yeah.
And then I think it was the following year, then
Yeah.
you made a baby.
And I made a baby. Yeah, that was last
So
year.
since I met you, it's
Yeah.
like your entire life has done
Has
so many
been,
different things.
yeah,
So
coming
that's
to a
pretty
new
cool. So
height.
now we're
Yeah.
gonna do some really cool stuff together, and I know it.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
now that the baby's made, we got to make that baby get big and inspired, and we can do so many different things together. And I'm looking forward to that.
I want you to meet her first.
I will. I will.
And that was going to be a beautiful moment. I can feel it. So
yeah. Well, thank you for being here.
This is your copy.
And thank you for my beautiful book. I appreciate it and I love it. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you so much.
If you guys want
thank you
more
for having me on your
information,
show.
of course.
I really appreciate it. And I just want to say that I think looking at your lifeline, your journey and mine, if this doesn't tell you it's never too late, I don't know what will, so
that's right.
That's a message to everyone here, is that follow your passions, don't let them be unexplored. Don't go to your grave without utilizing your skills, your passions, and because we all have God-gifted talents, right? So we must take the opportunity, even later in life, or whether it's earlier in life like me, to explore our talents. So
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. And you guys heard that correctly.
Yeah.
follow and do your passions before you hit the grave, because that place is kind of lonely.
Yes. Do it now. Do it now.
That's right. Thank you guys,
Yes.
and have a wonderful time.
Thank you
Talk
for
to you later.
having
me. Thank you. Thank you.